All right, none of us are perfect, and I'm going to model that for you right now because background attachment, I thought I was not going to teach you about that because, in designing curriculum as an educator, you have to figure out what to leave in and what to leave out, and you want to give the students the right amount of material, right? You don't want to make it too simple and you don't want to make it too complex. And so background has just got a lot of properties. There's 8 of them. And I was thinking, I'm going to keep it just to 6 because 6 just seems a lot more manageable. And I actually even already recorded this review, but then I got a little further down in my code that I'm going to be presenting to you. I'm like, dang it. I totally need background attachment to show you this. So I'm going to add background attachment in. I'm recording this video out of order. So, like maybe you notice my voice sounds different because, or something, I don't know, or I shaved, or because I just woke up and I recorded this and I recorded that like yesterday, last evening. So anyhow, I'm adding in background attachment and I'm just kind of explaining this to you because I think it's important. Because when I go to the review section, I think I said something which I've already recorded. I think I say something like, hey, we're not learning background attachment or background clip. And I totally say something about, hey, we're just learning 6 out of 8. So my editor might try to pull that out, my buddy Shin. But if he doesn't, I just want to explain to you so you know what's going on. All right, background attachment. What the heck is background attachment? Why do we need it? Because I want to show you this. So here we've learned how to do above the fold. We've seen that already. I love it. It's one of my favorite design patterns. This is like one of the main things you're going to get from me. You can make people happy, right? Do a full screen above the fold. And most people who do the full screen image, they don't know how to do above the fold. So you're like, the rare, like go look at websites. They've got full screen images like this. And most of them, when you resize the viewport, the browser window, right, they are not going to always be above the fold, or where what they want showing on the front page of the paper, regardless of the size of the paper, something the newspaper people didn't have to deal with. Like the size of the newspaper was not changing depending upon who was viewing it, right? But anyhow, most people who design a full page, like they don't do it where it's always perfectly kabam, no matter the size of the viewport. It's just, that's the content that's on the viewport. I just noticed a little deal there with Paradise Island. Anyhow, like, yeah, I guess I'll fix it, where that's no longer centered. So to center that, that's my H1 text. I'm just going to come over here to the text, and under formatting, font size, I'll do right there, text align center. And by the way, you notice I just said, you notice I just said, hey, I'll do it right there. And so I just got to like give a little anecdote. I'm talking fast. I just have to give a little anecdote about how CSS is a really difficult language to work with, right? Because in other programming languages, there's this entire style of sort of making your code modular and contained and having scope. And CSS, it's really hard to sort of organize your code. And that's a known challenge with CSS. And so like, hey, how do you organize the different rule sets? And in what order do you put the different declarations? And what do you call your selectors so that you don't have collisions and unintended overriding? If you're hitting that at all, everybody does. So, one of the ways I organize is this is kind of layout, this is sort of formatting, and then I kind of also go sequentially, like try to match the document, and that all falls to crap, eventually. And what I also do is with each page, I want to prefix all of my selectors where possible with that page somehow, right? And so it makes it specific to that page. You could put like an ID on the body, and then everything related to that page could be, that ID, and then whatever descendant is beneath it that you want to select. And that way, when you add other stuff in, you don't get unintentional overwrites. Anyhow, that said, now we're getting back to full page, and we're going to learn background attachment. So what does background attachment do? Holy cow. Off. Here's no background attachment, and this is what it does. Here is background attachment, and this is what it does. Refresh. Whoa. Right? So that's kind of a nice different look, where you have the windows slide up over the background image. So that's background attachment fixed. Here's no background attachment, which is background attachment scroll. And you can see that I put that in the notes because we're all visually oriented. Scroll scrolls with the element. So as I scroll, I'm scrolling, the background image is scrolling with the element. So here's the big element. It's got a background. And as the entire thing scrolls, that element is scrolling. The image the background goes with it. When I do background attachment fixed says, stays in place on the viewport. The element leaves it behind with scroll. So when the page originally renders, right, it's like, cool, there's my element, there's its background. But then it's like the element kind of just becomes unattached from the background. And so when you scroll the element, the background stays on the viewport, stays fixed. So that's a background attachment fixed. And that's basically all you have to remember because the default is scroll. So if I refresh this, scroll. And if I undo that and I do this and I make this scroll, same deal, right? So all you have to remember whenever you want your background to be left behind by the element, leave my background behind, you just make a background attachment fixed. So that's totally cool. And I wasn't going to show you that originally because I just wanted to keep it simple. What else are you holding out on me, Todd? What else are you holding out on me? I can't teach it all to you at once, man and woman and whoever's watching this. So, sorry. But I'm trying to give you what I think is the core, best foundation fundamentals. And you'll be solid after this course, no matter where you want to go, and you'll pick up the rest of it. And yeah, I hope I do you right. I hope I serve you well. That's my hope, and I believe I will. Like I've seen a lot of students. I've taught this course a ton, and the students, like, I've got people working in the field, and they're always like, man, right on. I get people. I'm like, go take Todd's class. All right, enough of that. Paradise Island. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. That looks beautiful. I think it's in Thailand. All right, see you in the next video.